Hey, thanks for joining. Here's a question I was recently asked on my show, How to Retire on Time. Take a look. Now, I'm going to go into a couple of different strategies here when it comes to income. It looks like I'm reading the poll here. Number two, tied for number two of highest concerns is running out of money and market crashes. Those are the two highest. Healthcare costs is actually the number one concern right now. So we'll talk about healthcare costs. That'll be fun. But running out of money and market crash. Here are the two simplest ways that you can solve that. Okay. The first one, just buy guaranteed income from an annuity.
Okay.
The only thing that can guarantee cash flow. Now, don't go overboard with it. I know there's a lot of advisors that will put as much as money as you can in annuities and say, there you go, we've solved everything. That's not how tax planning works. That's not how income planning works. You need to look at the sequence or your withdrawal strategies and how it works. And there's a lot that goes into it, but there's only one thing that can actually guarantee cash flow for life. And if you're going down this path, I typically would favor flat income. It front loads your income during your travel years, not your casual years. But that takes less pressure off the portfolio in the early parts of your retirement so that later in retirement, your other assets were able to grow and compound and offset inflation and so on. Also, the thing about flat income, there's no insurance ambiguity. It is contractual and it is straightforward. This is.
Yeah, this is what you get.
Yeah. All those like, oh, well, what if they change their rates or what if they do this? Gone with flat income.
Mm-hmm. Income multiplier, but it's dependent on this market trigger, et cetera, right?
Yeah. No, if you want lifetime income, get rid of any ambiguity with the insurance company. That's generally speaking what I like to use for the tool because you don't want to get that clause that says, oops, we got to change things.
Mm-hmm.
Just as is, nice and simple and predictable. And that might be maybe like up to half of your portfolio income that you need. So let's say you needed 80,000, maybe you guaranteed 40,000 of your income, guaranteed for life. That takes a lot of pressure off the portfolio. Now, and I see this over and over again, people that say, oh, I would lower my income because I'm just kind of concerned about it. And I say, well, what if we forced you, we gave you a payment every single month?
Mm-hmm.
Would you change? No. No, we'd keep going because we knew the payments were going. The prepared reaction was right for that person. Now, we've got other clients that have $5-7 million, and they don't want a lot of income. In fact, I call them accidental dividends because if you invest in the S&P 500, for example, you're going to get some dividends.
Yeah.
Like it's just a part of the beast, nature of the beast. The dividends that they would get from the portfolio based on the cash flow they want is probably more than the income they would spend anyway. An annuity might be not appropriate for them unless there were other reasons why they wanted it. So again, plan first, strategy second, and then that strategy, before you talk about investments or products, what is your reaction going to be in these different scenarios? That's the most honest conversation you can have with yourself because it's not dependent on your neighbor, what your neighbor wants. It's not dependent on, what you think you're supposed to do. A lot of people say, well, I want to do what the wealthy are doing. Well, first off, one, you're not with $50 million.
Yeah,
so it's a very different situation. And second off, a lot of very wealthy people keep things simple. It's not about what someone else is doing. It's what's right for you. So, and then the other one I talk about is you can be more dynamic with it. So that was the thesis really of the book, How to Retire on Time, was having some assets that are protected. So if the markets go down, you just have those reserves. Originally I called it a reservoir. Just like a city has a reservoir of water in case of a drought, just have some protected assets that you can tap into and wait for your other accounts to recover. It's more dynamic. Some people are more wired to want that prepared reaction. Some people want more of guaranteed income or flat income. Both are fine.
Yeah.
What's right for you, not your neighbor, not what does the Kiplinger article say. And I'm not ragging on Kiplinger. I write for Kiplinger.
Yeah, right.
Love Kiplinger.
Yeah, we love Kiplinger.
But there's a lot of opinions.
Yeah.
And that's information, not advice. Advice is one-on-one. Information is one-to-many.
Yes.
Now, David, I want to pause real quick and just ask you something here. If your retirement had a leak, okay, so let's say money was quietly draining out through fees or tax inefficiencies. Maybe the Social Security timing was going to put an unnecessary burden on the plan for one way or the other. Maybe you're just paying more in healthcare premiums because you didn't know how to optimize all of this. How would you know? And how would your AI even know? You have to have the right questions to ask. It's a whole problem. And the truth is, these leaks, they're often silent. Many people miss them. So here's what I want to do. Everyone right now in Kansas City area, they're listening in right now, we're going to offer you something real cool. Look, if you're within 5 years of retirement and you've saved at least $500,000 or more, I would invite you to book your retirement leak test. It's a 47-point inspection on your retirement, 2 visits with my team, won't cost you a dime. The first visit is going to be finding the leaks. The second visit, we're going to show you how to plug them. You walk out with that leak report, every leak that we found, dollars, all of it, right in your lap. It costs you nothing. There's no obligation. We're doing this because we are genuinely concerned about some of the stuff that we've seen lately and the risks and the market conditions that are out there. So we're going to be offering this report at no cost. The report is yours to keep regardless of if you work with us from that point on or not. Now, if you decide you want to work with us, we can do a one-time written plan that we teach you how to fish. We're going to teach you how to fish step by step, plug in the different leaks so you can manage your plan on your own and potentially save yourself a lot of money in fees. I mean, heck, you got $1 million in retirement. That's like $10,000 in fees you could be saving for. That's like a leak unto itself. Now, if you want maybe a little bit more help, we also have ongoing services at a flat fee, but it's okay either way. The point is we want to help you find the leaks, plug them up, and then if you want to keep talking, give you a plan that's kind of like a recipe. If you can follow a recipe, you can follow the plan, even if you don't have a financial background. That's it, nice and simple. Now, fair warning, some of you may have one of the biggest leaks is that advisor fee. So if you're open to a nice conversation about finding leaks in your system, trying to get more out of your money, here you go. We've only got room for 5 this week. That's it. So in order to get the leak test, the retirement leak test, here's what you got to do. What you're going to do is you're going to text radio to 913-363-1234. Text radio right now to 913-363-1234. That's keyword radio, 913-363-1234. And then what we'll do is we'll text you back. If you're one of the 5, we'll give you a link to schedule the 30-minute call. Just got to schedule the call within the next 2 weeks. Very limited times. But we do have some slots open for us right now. Text radio to 913-363-1234. The first 5 people to text us, you'll get those 2 sessions, no cost, no obligation. We're going to help raise your awareness towards your retirement preparation. Again, you must have $500,000 or more to qualify for this specific offer. But let's find the leaks. Let's expose them. Let's have some fun plugging them up and help you get more out of your money and be better prepared for your retirement.
Got a question that popped up here. Can you further define flat income? Is this income from an annuity or something broader? So by definition, the only thing that can guarantee is an annuity. Right now, you can buy private equity that gives you income. And I'm going to joke about that in just a second, but they're great. So real estate, private equity, so private placement, different developments. There's a lot of things that can provide income. But those income strategies, though they're flat, are temporary. So for example, let's say you invest in some sort of real estate or real estate influenced asset. You put money in there. Your basis or your investment's probably going to stay roughly the same in most of these, not all of them, but most of them, it's going to be as is. So let's say you put in $25 per share, put as much as you want in there. You're going to get maybe 8, 9, 10, 12% back annually in monthly checks.
Oh, right.
Okay. Now, the more that you get, the more risk you are taking. Be very careful with that. But that income is going to keep coming until either rates change and they redeem it. So it's a callable investment, as in they can give you then your $25 per share back and they stop paying you that, or they just can't keep paying anymore and they go bankrupt.
Right.
And I see these ads like, oh, if you're going to buy an annuity, stop. We'll pay the surrender policy or the surrender fees for you and take your money and we'll give you a better rate. Well, those are 2 huge red flags. How are they giving you money to get you out of something? And how in the world can they afford to then pay another rate? It's because they're not guaranteeing it. It's an apples to oranges comparison. So for some people saying, hey, that's a good income strategy, maybe you want it for a couple of years and you just needed to bridge a gap.
Okay.
That would be an appropriate situation. But if you're going to be retired for 20 or 30 years and you're looking for stability, nothing else can guarantee it for the long term. And what's interesting is because the 10-year treasury is pretty dang high right now, all things considered, that's why flat income from an annuity is higher. If you go back 10 years, the payouts were garbage. I'd be saying stay away from it because it wasn't competitive. It's kind of like, did you like buying a house or refinancing your house when rates were low?
Yeah.
And
that was
remember
great.
2018, 2019?
Yes.
Good times, right?
Really good time to refinance and lock in something good.
Is it a good time now? No.
Not a good time now. So the moral of the story being that rates change, things change, right?
Offers change.
Yeah.
So right now might be a good deal. If that's the right prepared reaction for you. If it's not, that's fine. It's a difference.
Yes.
So when I talk about income, there are income mechanisms, and I don't like basing your retirement on income in that sense because let's say you do one, you're getting 9% income every year for up to 5 years, unless they call it, and then maybe it stays, maybe it doesn't. And then at some point, rates change, they call it, and they can issue back at 6%. You just took a 33% reduction on your income because you were dependent on something you could not control. That's the risk that a lot of people don't realize. And you see this in like certain ETFs. They're using cover called income. That's not always going to be the case. Or different real estate deals where they can call it back. That's not always going to be the case. It doesn't make the tool wrong. It's a mismanagement of expectations on that tool.
Okay.
So Steve, hopefully that helps you with it. With annuities, there's two trains of thought here. The first one is you can buy index annuities specifically. I'm going to talk about for a second. You can buy index annuities that have great cash growth potential but terrible lifetime income, or you can buy great lifetime income but terrible cash growth potential. You can't buy either. Like you can buy either, I guess,
Yes.
but you're either getting one or the other.
Yeah. Both of those, everything you just described is not in one product.
It's not one product, so you have to understand how to shop them. And then the other factor too to consider is when you have higher income, typically you can say, I want higher income, but I want a cost of living adjustment. That's a great thing. It is. Except for, and this is the part people miss because they don't read the legal documents, and I don't blame them. I only read it because I need to. It's my job.
Yep.
And I don't trust insurance companies as much as maybe the average person does. I don't know. But that cost of living adjustment is only going to last as long as the cash value within the policy. So once that cash value is gone, your income isn't increasing with inflation anymore.
Oh, right.
So you might as well, in my opinion, take a higher income payout and let the other part of your portfolio grow to offset the inflationary risk when you have complete control over your portfolio, not as much of what the lifetime income is going to do.
Yeah.
So here's an example. I'm not quoting a product, but if you're like 65 years old, you might get 7 and something% on whatever you put into a flat income stream today. 10 years ago, it might be like 5%.
Oh.
I say might, again, I'm not quoting any specific products, but that's a fundamental difference.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look at, I'm kind of going on a little tangent here, but hopefully you all appreciate it. If you look at the average like S&P performance since 2000, it's around 8%. So if you can guarantee basically a dividend from an insurance company at like 7 and something%, that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
But don't go overboard with it. Because if you have too much, and this is the negative side, if you have too much into annuity, when the spouse passes, the surviving spouse might get hit with higher taxes. You want to cap how much you put into these products because you need to have the tax flexibility. You need to have flexibility for inflation. You need to have flexibility for all these other factors that play into it. The point being, there's no such thing as a perfect investment product or strategy. But when you illustrate your plan, your projections, you explore these strategies and you start asking questions of if this were to happen, how would you react? Then you can pick the right reactions for you so that your life is not interrupted. Your lifestyle continues on. Because if you adjust your life based on your money controls you.
Yeah.
If you control your money, then you have the prepared reaction that works for you that allows you to continue on when everyone else is panicking.
Doesn't that sound great? I mean,
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yes.
And I know it's weird to say, oh, well, he always probably does this or that. Like, no, if you were sitting in my seat, the planning process naturally kind of sorts itself out. And the plans that we put together are so wildly different because they're right for the individual. It's just, client confidentiality is kind of important.
Yeah, so we won't get any specifics, but yeah, so basically it sounds like you're saying that you need lots of different income streams coming in so that whatever happens in the market, it's okay.
Yeah, I would say diversify by strategy, not ambiguity. A lot of people will go out there, and I even say this when people download our DIY annuity guidebook. I wrote it to talk some people out of buying an annuity, or at least lower it. And the reason is simple. You don't take a lump of money and then buy a bunch of random stuff and say, well, it should work out.
Yeah. I mean, it may work out or it may not.
Yeah.
And then if it's not going to work out, then your life is just...
I mean, can you imagine if the Chiefs, we're biased, we're in Kansas City.
Yeah.
If the Chiefs had a huddle and said, all right, everyone, do your best. And everyone went to the offensive line and everyone did their own play. Like, it's not going to work out well.
Yeah.
There's got to be a coordinated effort.
Right.
Same with your retirement plan.